Today, we are unpacking something I'd bet almost every single one of us has experienced at some point. We're talking about breaking the cycle of stagnation. You know, hitting that invisible wall where your momentum just completely flatlines. It's a universal struggle. But why exactly does it happen? And more importantly, how do we jumpstart the engine when we're feeling totally stalled out? Let's get right into it.
Have you ever felt like your life is just on pause? Really think about it. You've got goals, you've got dreams, and you probably know exactly what you should be doing to reach them. And yet, somehow, you wake up and repeat the exact same routine, day in, day out. It's incredibly frustrating, right? There's this massive gap between your ambition and your daily reality, and it literally feels like invisible weights are holding you down from making any real progress.
Well, listen, if you're carrying around a ton of guilt about this, let's just reframe that right now. You are not lazy. You are simply stuck. We love to beat ourselves up, don't we? We label ourselves as lazy or uninspired when we aren't moving forward. But here's an incredibly empowering distinction from the source material. Feeling stuck is just a temporary state. It's not some permanent character flaw. It just means your forward motion has hit a pause button. And the best part? We can absolutely fix that.
So, let's look at why this actually happens. Reason number 1, the motivation myth. To get unstuck, we basically have to flip our whole understanding of getting things done completely upside down. See, the myth is that motivation brings action. We think we have to sit around waiting for this magical lightning bolt of inspiration to strike before we can do anything meaningful. We wait to feel energized before we hit the gym. But the reality? It's the exact opposite. Action creates motivation. Think about the last time you tackled a really tough task. You probably didn't feel motivated before you started, but once you took that very first step, the momentum just built itself, didn't it?
So, how do we use this? It boils down to 2 really simple steps. Step 1, start small before feeling ready. Honestly, if you wait until you feel 100% perfectly prepared, you're going to be waiting forever. Just initiate a tiny, seemingly insignificant action. And step 2, let your motivation catch up. Just by starting, you're signaling to your brain, hey, we're doing this, and that psychological drive naturally follows the physical behavior.
All right, that brings us to reason number 2, the trap of fear. Sometimes a lack of motivation isn't even the real issue. Sometimes we're just plain terrified. We get completely paralyzed by the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or just the anxiety of making the wrong call. So we freeze up. But here is a hard truth, and it's a bit of a gut punch. Doing nothing is also a decision. We trick ourselves into thinking that by avoiding a choice, we're playing it safe and keeping our options open. But every single day you avoid taking action, you are actively choosing to stay exactly where you are. So, how do we escape this fear trap? By recognizing that failure is simply a part of success. True growth kicks in the exact second you accept that failure is not the opposite of success. No way! It is a required, unavoidable ingredient. I mean, you have to stumble a few times to learn how to walk, right? Once you reframe failure as just a normal stepping stone on the path, that fear completely loses its grip on you.
And that transitions us perfectly to reason number 3, the comfort zone paradox. Here's the thing about your brain. It's biologically wired by evolution to keep you safe, not necessarily to make you successful. It absolutely loves predictability. That's why your familiar routines feel so incredibly cozy and secure, even when you logically know they're no longer helping you grow. Because of this, we have to totally redefine discomfort. Discomfort is often a sign you are growing, not a sign you are failing. Look, real change is going to feel awkward, messy, and pretty unpleasant at first. But that unpleasant feeling, that's actually a massive green light. It means you're stretching your limits and stepping out of that artificial safety zone.
Okay, so we've identified the traps. Now let's talk about the solution and how to actually move forward. If you've been feeling all this immense pressure to overhaul your entire life overnight, just let that go right now. Breaking out of stagnation doesn't require a dramatic, extreme life change. You just need ridiculously small actions today. Read one single page, walk for 10 minutes, apply for one opportunity, write down one goal. See how low friction that is? These actions might feel almost entirely insignificant on their own, but that's the whole point. They are the exact tiny sparks that restart your engine and get you moving again.
We so often stay stuck because we get obsessed with perfection. We want the flawless workout plan, the perfect business draft, the absolute perfect timing. But listen, progress isn't built on perfection. It is built entirely on consistency. Repeating those small, imperfect, sometimes messy actions every single day, that is the secret. That's what actually compounds into extraordinary long-term results.
So, the absolute biggest takeaway here? Movement doesn't require giant leaps. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're broken or that you failed at life. It just means you temporarily stopped moving. And it takes literally one single tiny decision to get that momentum going again. Always remember, your future isn't shaped by what you vaguely plan to do someday. It's created entirely by the choices you make today.
So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on. What is the one small step you will choose to take today? Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for motivation to magically arrive out of thin air. Just take that very first tiny step. Trust me, your future self is going to absolutely thank you for it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, go take that step right now.